there's a center missing from the power play. Sean Couturier can spin. And listen, it's the Monday of the week the season starts. Lots of things can change. A little surprising Coots wasn't on the power play, though. I know last year was very bad. The way he ended, the offensive numbers, he looked slow. I get all of that. It's not as if you would be like, oh, Sean Couturier missing from the power play. Yeah. What are we doing? But it's a little surprising, one, for me, because while individual face-offs, like face-offs as a whole, might be a bit of an overrated stat, they're incredibly important on special teams. And Sean Couturier is very good at winning face-offs.
Okay, that is true. However, and this is a flip side argument, because I mostly agree with you, but I do want to make this point. It probably matters less if you're on power play too.
That's fair. You're probably coming on the fly with about 30 seconds left. That's honestly decent argument. And Jett, in the preseason, won a ton of offensive zone draws.
Yeah, you said that. That's something you took notice of.
But typically, an 18-year-old up against NHL talent will lose a lot of faceoffs.
Look, Bill, I will agree with you that it is funny. So here's why it's funny. And by funny, it's in like a raising my eyebrow, like here he goes again sort of way. Yeah. It's funny in that way. Not like I'm laughing at Sean Couturier. No. But the Flyers, the way they've structured their power play units, you have 2 defensemen, 8 forwards. That means that you, in your forward core, you have 9 top 9 forwards. 8 of the top 9 forwards in the opening night lineup are on the power play. There is only one top 9 forward who is not on the power play, and his name is Sean Couturier.
See, this is why we need Charlie here for that sort of math. That makes it so much funnier. Like, it's like he's being singled out. Yeah. And listen, again, I know Sean Couturier is not Sean Couturier from a few years ago. I am well aware. But you do have a guy who is the captain of the team, a respected veteran. There is often in these circumstances deference paid to veterans. He's had a couple of 30-goal seasons.
And more importantly, because we talked about this on the show a lot, power play time, while yes, fixing the power play is a major thing for them because they know how bad it was, it's also a reward. And it's also a punishment if you don't get it.
Yes. That is like the way to... If you're trying to prove a point to one of your top guys, and it's like, well, I need to play him. Yeah, like, I can't just not play. I mean, John Tortorella.
That's right. It is John Tortorella.
McDavid, you're not playing tonight. Sit down. But if you are trying to prove a point to one of your top guys, but you still want him for his regular shift, you take away the power play time, because power play time is where you typically, not on this team, but most of the league, racks up points, and you get paid for scoring points.
Right.
If you don't have power play time, it's exceedingly more difficult to score those points. I see where you might be Sean Couturier and be like, are you kidding me? Like, this 18-year-old who is like,
here we go again.
Yeah, like, I had a bad year last year. Absolutely. But this kid was in high school last year. I bet you he wouldn't have had a very good year in the NHL either. Like, what are we basing? But I do believe that power play time is a tool that they can use to give Luchenko for him to focus on offense.
Oh, I agree. No,
because he is going to be doing so much. He's the 3C. Like, no matter what the coaches tell him, no matter, like, this is going to be your job. You're going to be checking a lot.
Yeah. And in fairness, like, if he's going to be here, you want to play him on the power play.
Yeah.
Because you want to give him the full look. It's a 9-game audition. I know Danny, poo-pooed it a little bit. He's like, well, we could send him back whenever. Obviously, it matters from a contract standpoint. But John Tortorella more or less said a few hours later, like, yeah, it's the 9 games, and then we'll make a decision. Yeah. Like, that is the audition. So if you're giving him an audition, give him an audition. Give him an audition everywhere. And that, it seems like, is what they're going to do. They're obviously putting him with, he's not on the top line, but Farabee and Brink can score. They got some talent. He's on a power play. No, it's not the top unit, but it's a power play. They do have one more guy than the other team. I know that didn't matter that much last year for the Flyers, but it theoretically should. And apparently, according to Tortorella, they're going to use him on PK a bit too.
The PK, I want him on so bad just because he gets a stick on a puck. It's a breakaway.
Yeah.
Also, the power play, I will say, like, if they're regrouping, he's on power play 2, 45, 30 seconds left, whatever. That speed to gain the zone could be very helpful, like in a limited amount of time.
Mm-hmm.
Well, now we're not killing 10 of those 30 seconds in the neutral zone. That could be helpful too. Maybe this kid comes in and is a major contributor right away. He has some tools.
Yeah, I will say that regardless of how Jett Luchanko ultimately develops as a two-way player, as a guy who can chip in with offense, I have zero doubts in my mind he is going to be a great penalty killer. He might be a great penalty killer right now.
We all silly like the mayor.